guys. Welcome back to another exciting episode on the show, Control or Be Controlled, a podcast designed to help you start thinking differently and take control of your life. And I remain your host, Darlington. Today's guest is Kathleen Donnelly Israel, author of Wisdom on the Camino, an inspiring memoir about her solo 500-mile pilgrimage across northern Spain on the Camino de Santiago. After the loss of her husband, following 17 years as a caregiver, she embarked on a journey of healing, adventure, and spiritual discovery, sharing the life lessons and philosophies she developed along the way. A transformational breathing facilitator, theta healer, and grief support presenter, she continues to help others navigate loss, embrace healing, and find purpose through life's greatest challenges. Kathleen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Darlington. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, Kathleen, so what inspired you to walk the Camino de Santiago after spending 17 years caring for your husband?
Yes, while I was caring for Ron, my girlfriend went on the Camino Santiago and she shared it on Facebook. And so I just realized that she was doing something very special for herself. And I knew that when I was done taking care of Ron, I would need something special to do like that. And so that's why I went on the Camino. Before my husband got sick, he was an athlete, and I just thought that we would be riding our bicycles across Spain or France or something in our old age, but that was not to be, that was not to be because he got sick. And so then I had to think of some other dream for myself to think about while I was caring for him.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathleen. So how did that first step onto the Camino change your perspective on grief and life?
Yes. Well, grief, I experienced a lot of grief after I realized my husband was ill because my life, I had to give up what I thought my life would be like. So that I experienced grief at the beginning of his illness and also at the end of his illness. I experienced grief, but at the end of his illness, it was more like grief and relief because I had been, caring for him so long, and it was hard. It was hard to, care for him, especially in the end, changing diapers and taking him, he couldn't even talk or walk or anything. So I had total care of him at that time. So I needed a reprieve from that, something to build me up. And like old people, they get shorter at the end of their life. I used to be 5'6", and after I was caring for Ron, I was 5'5". So I lost an inch. But after I walked the Camino, when I came back, they measured me and I was 5'6" again. So I think, it just kind of pushed me down caring for him all the time. And then the Camino sort of brought me back up.
Okay, Kathleen, thank you so much. So, what is the most powerful lesson you share in wisdom on the Camino?
I think the most powerful lesson was the Ho'oponopono. Do you know what that is?
No.
Ho'oponopono, do you know what that is?
I said no, don't.
No, you don't know? Okay, I'm going to tell
Yes.
you. It's a Hawaiian healing technique for the family. So it's like a prayer or an incantation. And you can say it with your family, or you can just say it by yourself. You don't need anybody else to help you. You can just do it by yourself. And the thing is, when we have difficulty in our life, we have altercations with other people or situations seem to be very difficult for us, then we can say the Ho'oponopono, and it looses our binds to the sadness or to the people that are making us sad or whatever. It loosens the binds to those other things. And so how it goes is it's, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And it starts out, I love you. And it's, I love God. God loves me. God loves the other person, and the other person loves God. And if you can say it, you can say, I love them and they love me, but you don't have to. So I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not I'm sorry I did something, but I'm sorry the situation exists. So I have a situation here that's making me sad, and I'm really sorry that it is happening. And then please forgive me. And it's not forgive me because I did something wrong, but forgive me for what's going on in me that caused me to attract this. So I have a brokenness inside of me, and that brokenness sent out a vibration and brought in some more sadness to me. So, and then it's please forgive me. And it's not forgive me because I did something wrong, but forgive me for what's going on in me that caused me to attract this. So and thank you for showing me this so I could heal. So, if I didn't have this sadness in my life, I wouldn't know where I hurt inside, and I wouldn't know where I need to heal. So thank you for showing me this. And then it ends, I love you. I love God. God loves me. God loves the other person. The other person loves God. And maybe by then you can say, I love them and they love me. So it's a very powerful prayer. It's like a soaking prayer. So you don't just say it once, you say it a lot. And it just kind of soaks you in. It's like a remedy for sadness or discord or whatever. And so, like, when I go out and water my garden, I have a garden, and I put the hose on and I put it on one plant and I say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then I go to the next plant and I say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And I just water my whole yard, and I'm kind of like soaking myself in that prayer of Ho'oponopono. And I shared that with several people on the Camino, and it's in my book. So if you need to know about it, you can look in my book and you can see it.
Okay, Kathleen, thank you so much. Kathleen, thank you so much. So moving on,
Mm-hmm.
were there any encounters with fellow pilgrims that fondly changed you?
My interaction with other pilgrims that changed me. Well, like the first night that not the first night, the second night that I was on the Camino, the first night after I started walking, I met a bunch of people in Val Carlos, and there was an albergue. That's where you stay on the Camino. There's it's like a house or a building somehow, and it's got a lot of bunk beds in it and a kitchen. So, and the rest, restroom, showers. So it's got everything you need. And I was there, and I I met this man, and well, this other guy introduced me to him, and he said, "Oh, I have a new friend here, and he's so sad. He lost like 3 of his friends died in rapid succession, and he's so sad he can't do his life anymore, and that's why he came on the Camino." And so I went over to him and I sat down next to him, and I said that I was sorry that he had, this sadness in his life. And I told him about my husband and how he had died. And actually my mother died too. Like my husband died in August and my mother died in November. And so it was just really, he said to me, "Oh, I'm so
Hi,
sorry
Kathleen, are you there?
that happened to you." So we were
Hi,
both
Kathleen, are you there?
sitting there with our grief, talking to each other about it. And maybe the fact that I had grief too, it's kind of like solidarity, that you just, you're not the only one with the problem. And so that was really nice. And that sort of thing happened along the way, meeting people that
Hi,
had
Kathleen.
things that, why did you walk the Camino? And then they would tell you. And then there would be, you get to talk to each other about it. So I met a man, and he was from Ireland, and his parents had, they had, I guess, 3 boys, and his father had to go to Dublin so he could work, and left the boys at home to finish raising themselves. They had an older boy, a middle, and a younger boy. And so when the older boy got old enough, he just sort of left because he needed to leave and go do his life. And the middle son stayed with the younger son till the younger son graduated from high school. And then he thought it was time for him to go do his life too, but his younger brother was really angry with him for abandoning him, for leaving him there alone. And so that's why he was walking the Camino, because he didn't know what to do. So he thought, well, I'll walk to the Camino and maybe I'll think of what to do. And so I was able to share with him about possibility thinking. So we talked about, I said, okay, so think about when you were happy in your life. And he said, yeah, that's when my parents were with us. And I said, how could, think about your younger brother and how he could be happy. And he said, well, he's my parents' responsibility, not my responsibility. Maybe I could just take him to Dublin and he could live with them and I could go do my life. And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. So it was kind of like that. That was one of the things that I learned while I was healing, while I was listening to enlightened thought leaders while Ron was sick. And so I got to share that with him. You can just think about possibilities of what would be better than what you have. And then sometimes it's a good idea and you can implement it.
Okay, Kathleen, thank you so much. So, moving on. Yeah, what advice would you give someone who feels lost after losing a loved one?
You mean after your loved one dies?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I know everybody's got a different relationship with their loved one. I mean, it could be a child, it could be a spouse, sister, anybody. And so after they die, it's really important to just treat yourself well. Get into self-care and realize that you're still alive. They are gone, but they're not gone. They're just gone to heaven, and we will meet them again. But they probably would really like us to live a good life here on the earth. They wouldn't want us to be sad. I mean, especially if they love us, they wouldn't want us to be sad. I know that it was difficult taking care of my husband. But you know what? Even though he couldn't even move, I could bring him in the front room and sit him on the couch and kind of drape his arm around my shoulders. And get the feeling of being loved, and it felt really good. And then after he died, I didn't have that anymore, and it was really lonely. I remember, and that's why I went on the Camino, because I needed to do something for myself. I think all the women in my life who had their husband die, like both of my grandmothers and my aunt, they all went on a trip after their spouse died. So that was kind of a tradition in our family to go on a trip and just give yourself a different perspective. The thing about being sad is that if you're sad, you're going to bring in more sad stuff. And so you got to think of a way to be happy. And if you go maybe to a tropical island, there's happy stuff all around, and it can help you. It can help you be happy. Seeing new things, starting a garden, just participating in the beautiful nature. Whether if you live in a condo, you could start a garden on, by a window. You don't have to. I have a garden. I have a house with a garden, so I have that.
Okay, Kathleen. So, what do you hope readers take away from wisdom on the Camino?
I hope that people will be delighted from reading my book. I hope they will learn from my the things that I shared, because like I had kind of a troubled childhood, and so when Ron got sick and I had to be home, I went online and I thought, well, this is my time to heal. So I listened to enlightened thought leaders, and sometimes I would buy their program and I would do the work, listen to the tapes, do whatever they tell me to do in the program. And then a new healer would come and I would learn from them. And over the years, I was taking care of Ron for 17 years. Over the years, I really learned a lot about healing. And so that's what I wanted to write the book about. I wanted to write my book about my healing modalities. And I was reluctant to be teachy. And so I thought, well, I told all of those healing things to people on the Camino that I met on the Camino. So I wrote my book about walking the Camino and telling people the different healing modalities. So when you read the book, you can just kind of think about the different experiences and how I shared the healing with those different people. And so I hope that people will be delighted from reading the book, because it's just such a great story. I hope that people who would like to walk the Camino get encouragement. Like, if this old lady can do it, I can do it, right? And walking the Camino is a very low tech skill. It's one foot in front of the other. It doesn't take very much skill to walk. So, and the people that can't walk the Camino, maybe they're bedridden or something, they could read the book and live walking the Camino through me, because I talk about all the things that happened to me and some of the delightful experiences, so many fun things that I encountered. And anyway, that's what I hope.
Okay, Kathleen. So, if someone wants to start walking the Camino themselves, what would you tell them before they begin?
Well, there's a lot of books about walking the Camino, and there's tour books. Like you can buy a book and it will tell you, you start here and you walk to here every day. And so you can, like what I was doing, I was walking 5 miles twice a week with my girlfriend. I was walking 5 miles and I thought, well, that doesn't even make me sweat. So, I mean, you got to be able to walk 5 miles. And so you would, if you're not walking now, you could just start walking, a half a mile, and then another week you could walk a mile and, build up to 5 miles. But I was walking 5 miles and I thought, well, I could walk 5 miles before lunch and I could walk 5 miles after lunch and I can do this. So you just prepare that you can walk, and then you get a guidebook and you kind of decide how many miles you can go in a day. And so then I just figured I could walk 10 miles in a day. And, it translated to kilometers, probably 13 kilometers, 13 to 15. And then I listened to YouTubes about how to pack for the Camino. So there's certain things you should bring. You shouldn't bring heavy clothing, because if you're going to carry your clothing with you, you want lightweight clothing. So I just went online and I ordered lightweight clothing that was sun protective, and got me a hat, got me a pack. You just accumulate all the things. So YouTube, they'll tell you what to do. And just read some books about walking the Camino, like my book. And I think you'll get excited about it.
All right, Kathleen, thank you so much for sharing your remarkable journey of courage, healing, and hope. The story reminds us that even after profound loss, it's possible to discover new purpose, meaningful connections, and unexpected joy. Those that would like to connect with you and learn more about Wisdom on the Camino, how can they do that?
Okay. My book, Wisdom on the Camino, A Spiritual Journey, Sharing Forgiveness and Possibilities to Inspire the Rest of Your Life, by Kathleen Donnelly Israel, is on Amazon. So you can get it on Amazon. And I have a gift with purchase for my readers. So when you open the book and you go to the table of contents, right on that page facing the table of contents, there's a paragraph that says, read this first. And it guides you through going online and signing up to see the pictures. So I shared my pictures on my website, pictures of my journey, and they're arranged in chapters. So if you read chapter 1, you can look at the pictures from chapter 1, and so on. So that's my gift with purchase for my readers. And my email address is Kathleen@wisdomonthecamino.com. And my website is wisdomonthecamino.com.
All right, thank you so much, Kathleen. This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much. And my audience out there, make sure to check out Kathleen's work and check out his website. And those who want to walk on the Camino, you should be part of a journey. Follow her up and check out her book as well. Thank you, Kathleen. I really enjoyed this episode with you.
Thank you, Darlington. It was fun.
And to my audience, I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. Thank you, Kathleen.